Unfortunately, I think we are back to Mythic Plus jail. So today I'm going to cover what Mythic Plus keys you should be aiming to do and re-rolling the other ones. Now, how I tested each dungeon, I personally did a 30 key of every location, and I only W keyed forward to each boss to kill all the trash in the boss. I didn't stop, I just pulled all the trash to the boss and killed it. I didn't use any movement speed abilities. Then I took that time and compared how many fragments I was getting. Now understand each dungeon fragment drops can be plus or minus roughly like 5 to 10. I couldn't find anyone who ran these hundreds of times and compiled the list of the same key level being killed to get like an average amount you would get each 30 clear. Now your goal is to min-max IP, so just because you can kill a 40 doesn't mean you want to for the extra 20-30 frags, as it also adds 5 to 10 minutes onto your clear. And I'm roughly 430 versatility, and I can barely do 30s efficiently. And when I mean 30, I just mean 30. So I'm just going to place them in a tier list, with Arcway obviously without a doubt being S tier. It's one of its own kind. Can't beat the speed and the amount it gives, as you can split up into different groups to kill off each boss, and because there's so many bosses you just get such large amounts of fragments. And then the more A tier dungeons, you're gonna look at like Blackrock Hold, Netherian's Lair, and Eye of Ashara. And why these are all good is they're a mix of between lots of bosses, able to do really strong skips in them, as well as Eye of Ashara you can split up and conquer both sides at the same time. And then for the B tier, I'm gonna put in Return to Karazhan, Dark Heart Thicket, and the Maw of Souls. These three are in C tier because they take a little longer than the rest for the amount of keys you get. Dark Heart, where you can run this one very fast if you have a team to split up and solo the last three bosses. But for some reason the amount of fragments you get is low, and there's very short RP. You have to wait until you can TP to the front of the dungeon. Return to Karazhan is a lot of running and small amount of RP that makes it take a little longer than you would like. If you have the damage to skip the last boss phases, it helps a lot since the dungeon does drop a lot of fragments. And finally, the Maw of Souls. It's super fast, but too much RP on the last boss for the little amount of fragments you get. And finally in the C tier is going to be Halls of Valor. Now this one I had a little bit trouble testing this out because I was joining 30 key groups and no one was ever strong enough to go efficiently clear the opposite side that I went to clear. So every time I ran with them, I would fully clear all the trash on my side and the boss, and I have to walk all the way over to their side and also help them finish up whatever they had left. So if you wanted to be super efficient, you would be running with a partner that is basically the same strength as you, so while you solo one side, they could solo the other side. And in the D tier that I wouldn't even mess with is both Court of Stars and Vault the Wardens. There's just too much RP in these that even if they gave like double the amount of fragments that they do give, it still wouldn't even be worth it because you're stuck listening to our roleplay and you can't like skip over it. In conclusion, any S and A tier, I would look for any random solo queue teams, but anything in the B and C tier, you almost want to make sure you're in a pre-made team when you're running these, so you know what you're doing to make them as effective as possible. And then in the D tier, I honestly wouldn't even touch them. If you get that key, I would re-roll it when you can, and I would just not queue into any pre-made groups for those. Since we're going to be stuck in Mythic Plus, at least until next patch, they have all the open world mobs dropping too low of material to make anything effective. Like the elite mobs are dropping less things than a normal mob, which is crazy. And I've tried quite a few locations trying to find a miracle, but I've yet to find something to do over 300k an hour. So I think we're going to be stuck doing mythic keys for a while. The one upside to all this is because I'm going to be stuck farming 30 keys, I'll be giving free boosts to anyone that needs them just by commenting below, and I'll add you in game. With the revert change to Mythic Plus dropping flat eye level gear too, it's without a doubt the quickest way to boost your eye level up. 30 key will reward you 675 gear, and as I climb I'll be looking to boost 40 keys as well, but I'm not quite there yet. And with this week affix, it's much harder than usual, so it probably won't be until next week. I'm going to be streaming much more as well, so make sure you follow the Twitch channel or sub to the YouTube so you can catch me live and grab yourself some free carries. Thanks for watching.